Hey there, welcome back to the Free Black Women's Library Short Storytime series. Welcome back. It's been a long time since I have done a short storytime video. I'm excited to get back into it. I'm especially excited about the story that I am reading today. It is really good and one of my favorite short stories. It's called Ounce of Charm, and it's written by Jewelle Gomez. Now, Jewelle Gomez is most known for a book called The Gilded Stories. It's an epic novel, a queer novel, romance novel, novel about vampires. So it's got layers and levels to it. It's a queer love story featuring vampires, and that's her big seller. Like when people mention her name, I feel like that's the book that they think of. But she also has a short story collection of erotica called Don't Explain. Now, Don't Explain is published by Firebrand Books, and it came out in 1998. And as I said, the short story that I'm reading from it today is called Ounce of Charm, but it's filled with excellent, sexy, sensual, beautiful stories, okay? Queer stories. So we love it. We love to see it. So without further ado, let me get into Ounce of Charm. Here we go. Okay, deal the cards. Like I was saying, what you mean we all gotta be at the table? Shit. All right, let me finish the story. I can't believe y'all ain't heard this already. She must have told it 1,000 times. Like I said, I shouldn't have been surprised. I mean, how many times can you count on scientists really knowing what they're doing? The way she tells it, she was basically happy with how the world was turning. A regular 9 to 5 at the Department of Human Services, which was a joke, since anytime a city employee acts human or like she's helping another human obtain some services, the wall of bureaucracy falls on her like an old ton of bricks. But you know, government really is about the only place a black woman gonna find a job in this town. Don't get me wrong, Juanita is good at the people thing. You know when you hear about folks going in and shooting up city workers because somebody wasn't acting right around their check or stamps or whatever? I personally seen Juanita short circuit 2 or 3 of them massacres all by herself. Anyhow, she does the church thing every once in a while just to check in with the ancestors. House party now and then. Visits from relatives back in Texas. What's missing? Romance, of course. Her friends kept telling her she was good looking and smart. They were as puzzled as she was about why she couldn't find a man. She got that round brown look anybody would snatch up quick. But they should have known that when it comes to a woman searching for a man, smart cancels out good looking like a 16-wheeler splats a possum. Hey, Juanita is not a depressed kind of woman. You know that yourself. Opposite. When she meets the brambles, she makes a new path. That's her all over. Always has been, as far as I can tell. Yo, can't we deal the cards? Y'all disrupted my luck. All right. So it wasn't like she didn't meet men all the time. There's the middle management at work, the guys at church, the guys who volunteered at the food delivery project she works for a couple hours a week. Then there's, well, hell, it don't matter now. It was kind of a joke at first. They had these ads all over the radio. You couldn't get away from them. Juanita listened and didn't listen. She wasn't the type who was what you would call on the make. But she found herself at a perfume counter at Target, and there it was, Charm. Just like she heard on the radio. Really expensive. An ounce set her back as much as that leather bag you carrying. But there it sat, Charm. How am I supposed to know? She went for it. That's all. She sure got enough going for her on her own. I knew that as soon as she come to work in the building. On the radio, they kept saying it made you irresistible. You know, to the opposite sex. Some kind of gnomes, pheromones, something mixed in it. Like a smell you can't smell that you're supposed to have anyway. And it's supposed to trigger something in somebody else and they can't help themselves. A dash behind the ear and they after you. Yeah, I always been partial to musk myself. Anyway, she tries it. Ounce of charm to go. Well, from what I can get out of her, she dabs a speck of charm on her neck, and before she can finish putting on her pantyhose, she felt her heart flutter. She checked the mirror, wondering if she was looking sick. But there she was, bronze Amazon in the pink, so to speak. Her breasts were heaving, though. The swell of them in her bra just captured her attention. She smiled at herself. And next thing she finds, she's sitting on the floor in front of the mirror. She touched her nipples and they were hard like little candies. Well, girl, she leaned back and opened her legs. Her thatch of curlies was already wet. First she rubbed the lips, and then when she touched the hard button, she knew she'd hit gold. Back and forth she went, like she did this every day. Those fingers found places she had not even thought about. Neighbors must have wondered what was going on up in her flat, 'cause she called in sick and spent the day exploring. Exploring her body, I mean. Hey, you gonna deal? Hell, that wasn't the best of it. First, she didn't think it was connected to the charm stuff. She thought maybe she was just hot. Hormones shifting. Who knows? But the next day, when she goes to work, just to be sure, she waited till she was getting ready to come in the building. You know the building looks like a fancy warehouse? I sit there all during my shift in my security uniform, trying not to scare folks to death. I hate wearing that thing. The pants never fit right. And that badge, ugh. It don't mean a damn thing, except to people already too vexed as it is. So I see her come and go every day. This time I noticed she stopped just before coming through the door. I wondered what she was doing. Then she come on like she always does, says to me, "Morning, Idell." Just like usual, and goes on up in the elevator. Well, let me cut to the chase. Right. It works. Like a charm, so to speak. But of course, who falls for her first? You got it. See, They kept saying it would make a person of the opposite sex fall for you. Hell, scientists don't even know what the opposite sex is. Juanita, being Juanita, didn't even bat an eyelash at the invitation. Danced the night down to the nubs like she always been hanging out across the bay with the girls at the sister space. They thought disco was dead. Not Juanita. It was like she was possessed by Sylvester and the Weather Girls. Then, after hours, she was still lively as a tiger on visiting day. You ain't telling that story again. Yeah, Juanita, I am. Idell, why don't you let me tell my own story? Well, go ahead. They waiting to deal. So I go dancing. I already told that part. Oh. Well, she asked me to come back to her flat, and I said yes, because I hadn't figured out on Bart being closed down at that hour. I couldn't even tell what I was saying yes to, but she was something. Turns out, her people from Texas too. So there we went, and she kissed me as soon as the door was closed. I thought the top of my head was gonna fly off. We went into her room, real quiet, because she had roommates. I was a little nervous, so I kind of looked out the window. Child, there was this view. I mean, I've seen a view, but there was something about the night and all the lights. Many years as I've lived here, how many times you think I looked out and thought, this is my city? Not many, I'ma tell you. It was like I was seeing a city I ain't never seen before. But girlfriend wasn't into sightseeing. She was busy taking off all my clothes. I think that was what got me too. Nobody ever did that before. I was laying on the bed on top of a gold kind of comforter, and she started kissing me at the bottom and working her way up. I couldn't catch my breath. She was licking my knees and rubbing my thighs, and I closed my eyes at first. Then I wanted to see what was going on. When her lips touched my breast, child, and started all over again. She bit and nibbled on my breast until I wasn't sure they were part of my body. I watched her get up, then take off her shirt and slacks. I realized I had never really looked at another woman's thing before. Thing, you know. I was hypnotized. She was so dark down there. Yeah, down there. Like a pool I could sink into and never return. But I didn't see too much of it right then, because she laid down again on top of me. Something about the weight of her took my breath away. I don't mean she was heavy. Just made me want to stop breathing and pay attention. She kissed me on the mouth this time. Her lips were like sucking on a fruit pie. My mind was completely taken up with them, so when she touched me, I jumped. Her fingers smoothed the hairs inside my thigh, then around, you know. I was scared. I was dripping onto that pretty gold comforter. Funny the things you think about, ain't it? She didn't say a word, just plunged right on in like she knew I was waiting. Her finger became 2, then 3, moving in and out. And my hips moved to meet her. I wrapped my arms around her back. I was digging the way her muscles rippled. And then her butt. Girl's cute round mound. But mostly, I just opened up to take her in. I was ready to holler. She pushed deep inside, then out, touching the edges, pushing in again. I felt her hands swell inside me, filling me, taking me to the top. And I screamed. At least I started to. Her hand clamped down over my mouth like it was a stick up. Woo, set it off. Girl, she held her hand over my mouth and my eyes popped open. She said, "Oh, baby," and kept moving inside me, hard and fast. One hand pinned me to the bed, and the other worked like a Texas oil drill. Slick, deep, and steady. Harder and harder she pounded, and my scream kept coming into her hand. Damn, Juanita, you love to get graphic, don't you? You the one started telling it, Idell. 5 years, and she's still blushing over a bottle of perfume. All right, come on now, just deal the cards. How come you always get so shy when the story gets to the part with you in it? The woman just asked me what I give you for our anniversary. And what was you gonna say? I was gonna say Juanita always had all the charm she needs, baby. That's why I always give you lilac water. Okay. Deal the cards. All right, y'all. So that was Ounce of Charm, featured in the short story collection written by Jewelle Gomez called Don't Explain. It is a collection of erotic, queer short stories I absolutely love. I'm not sure if I'm going to post this video to the public because it is adult in content, so I'm not sure the rules are around that. I need to do a little bit of research, but either way, I'm going to be sharing it with my patrons, especially because I love them and I think they would really enjoy this story. So if you're a patron and watching this, thank you, and let me know what you think of this story. I also have some other questions for you in the description box that are connected to this story. All right, thanks for watching, y'all.